Hello, peeps, and welcome to another purposeful, positive, prolific, phenomenal, perfect. I know about perfect, but it sounds good. Platinum, prodigious, precise, power, packed, Phillips, podcasts. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Before we start today's podcast, on your notes, just a friendly reminder, your homework today, please take home your 10 question packet and finish it tonight if it is not done, because it is due tomorrow. BRB. All right, peeps, please take out your notes / homework spiral. Today's notes are going to be on lesson 3.8. We're going to start practicing how to rewrite equations and formulas. It's going to be lesson 3.8. We're going to start practicing how to rewrite equations and formulas. All right, take a look at the screen, please. Here we have an equation, 2x plus 5 equals 11. We've been working on those our last couple weeks on how to solve those. Now, we're not going to work with a regular equation. We're going to work with what they call a literal equation. A literal equation. So please write that vocabulary word on your paper. Literal equation. Alrighty, here's the difference. Notice in this equation right here on the screen that I have a coefficient that's a number that touches a variable, and I also have constants, numbers that are constantly alone. They're always looking for a variable, but they can't find one. So a literal equation would be something like this right here. And the reason why we're going to start calling these literal equations, because notice the coefficients and the constants have been replaced by letters. I do not have any coefficients here. I do not have any constants here. They have been replaced by letters. So basically, a literal equation is going to have a whole bunch of variables in it, and very few coefficients and very few constants, if any constants. All right, so let's take a look at a problem here. The gross domestic product of a country for a given year is the sum of the market values of all goods and services produced within the country during that year. The gross domestic product per capita is found by using the following formula. Remember, this is going to be a literal equation. Coefficients and constants have been replaced by lots of letters or variables. They tell me what S, C, I, G, N, and P all equal. Here is the important stuff. The question says, which of the following shows the gross domestic product per capita formula solved for C? So they told me that they want to solve for the letter C. Now, during the games, a question like this will probably be multiple guess. Oh, sorry, I haven't had my morning coffee. It'll probably multiple choice. So look at your multiple choice answers here. Notice they all start with the letter C. That's because they want you to solve the answer for the letter C. So I'm going to say all of the answers here start with the variable bears or the letter C. Since they all start with the variable or letter C, when I'm doing these problems, I'm going to say that C is my tornado. Let's pretend that all your answers started with the letter P. If all the answers started with the letter P, then P would be your tornado. For those of you who are still asleep, wake up. If all of your answers started with the letter N, If they all start with the letter N, then N would be your tornado. Alright guys, you should have that literal equation on your paper. I would like you to write on your paper now, solve for C. Please write on your paper, solve or solved for C. Alright, let's work the problem together. Since all the answers start with the letter C, I want you to draw a little tornado above the letter C. And you know, if the tornado is coming, you'll probably find out. At least hopefully find out. Because the tornado is coming, our little siren's going to go off and it's going to warn us that it's coming. So check it out. I want you to draw a line going down the middle of the problem where the equal sign is. Draw a line going down the problem where the equal sign is, excuse me. Now, this line is going to kind of act like a force field. The tornado can fly anywhere across the screen, anywhere across the paper, but as soon as the tornado hits that line, it's like a force field. The tornado cannot pass the line where the equal sign is. So S is very safe from the tornado. We're going to have to get I, G, N, and P to the other side so they can get in the force field and the tornado won't be able to hit them. Because see right now, I, G, N, and P. No, the tornado's killing me. You're so weird. So, this is what I'm going to say. This means division in math. Fraction bar means division. So, if I'm going to take the letter P and I'm going to move P across that line, I'm going to do the opposite of what district tells me to do. So the opposite of dividing by P, very good, would be to multiply by P. So I want you to put a multiplication dot, and then I want you to write the letter P. And we should remember by now, whatever we do to one side of our equation, visual people, whatever we do to one side of our equation, very good, we have to do to the other. So on the other side of my equation, I want you to put a dot and the letter P. Now, these are going to cancel each other, and I'm going to go look at my answers. So far I have P times S. Good strategy to use during the games. Check it out right here. Highlighter, 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 thank you. I have P touching S, so that means multiplication. I have P touching S, that means multiplication. P touching S, P touching S, that means multiplication. So far, all my answers are right. But this is going to be the perfect answer. So, I have P touching S. So I'm going to put a dot here for multiplication. Right there, I'm multiplying. Now, I still need to get I, G, and N away from the tornado. Remember, the tornado cannot get over to P and S because there is a force field. Quick, get I, G, and N away from the tornado. It's coming. So, I'm going to do, whoops, bring this to the front, minus 10 bears. So sorry. I'm going to get I to the other side. Remember, when you go across that fence, you do the opposite of what the district tells you to do. The district is telling you to add, but since you're going across the fence, you got it. You are going to subtract. So on your paper, I want you to write minus the letter I. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. So over here, I want you to write minus the letter I. Now, let's go look at your choices. That is a positive I. We want a minus or negative I. Hey, I can get rid of an answer. Ching-a-ling-a-ding-dong. A cannot be right. Look at this one. That is a positive I. We want a minus or negative I. Get rid of that one. Look at this. I have minus I and a minus I. Those tricky game makers. These, bada bing, bada boom, are going to end up canceling each other. Let me do this. Now, I still need to get G away from the tornado. When I go across that line, I'm going to do the opposite of what the game makers tell me to do. They're telling me to add. Very good, young grasshopper. You are going to subtract G. Whatever you do to one side, you got it. You're going to do to the other. So I'm going to put minus G over here. These are going to cancel. Minus G, yes, good so far. Ha 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 ha. That should be minus G, not plus G. We have found the correct answer, and you get 1,500,000 points. Just remember, points are absolutely useless in Ms. Phillips' class. To finish out the problem, you want to move N away from that tornado. You're going to do the opposite of adding N, which you said is to subtract N. Oh no, I did plus. Minus 10 for the Bears again. I don't get minus 10. That's not an oopsie. I was just testing you, and you're all asleep. These will end up canceling each other. Now I have the correct answer, and notice that my tornado is all by himself, so our answer is done. He can go wherever he wants, and there's no one over here for him to harm. Alright guys, we will keep working on these in class for the next week or so, because you will have a 10-question packet next week on these types of problems, and they will be on the EOC. So just remember, you want to move everything away from the tornado, and when you move things away from the tornado, do the opposite when you cross the line. Not really hard, just take them step by step. Remember, move everything away from the tornado and do the opposite when you cross the line. See ya!